Hey nerds, support Venture Forth over on our Patreon and unlock exclusive bonus content. Now, onto the show.
Magic and fire. This is Sika.
Flynn!
Oma!
Thessaly.
And I'm your DM, Ethan. Welcome to Venture Forth. Previously, you all had entered Hayfried's Void once more, now with the intention of freeing the sheep from the demon. Kellic, after a spell was cast and a level up occurred, was able to actually separate the sheep from the demon itself, now transforming it into something much more grotesque. Afterwards, a meeting with Seeker and Thessaly now cemented them as part of the Agents of Repair. Flynn went off to Addersfeld for a couple of hours and found himself in the presence of the Ironlight Castle. He found himself in the dungeons beneath the castle, surrounded by teachers and mentors, and after a quick ritual, had decided to instead extend the ritual and open himself up to all schools of magic. As he got a tattoo that covered his arm completely, he was now deemed a sentinel. As he headed back to the group, and the group had cemented themselves as an adventuring party, the Agents of Repair, what would you all like to do?
Well, we have a unique opportunity to speak to some of these, and I sort of nod in the direction of the rotating prisons for these creatures. Some of these cultists. Is there anything we could extract information-wise? Do you suppose?
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, we've been sort of thinking and brainstorming, but I don't know that we have any real idea of what the ultimate goal of the Order of the Red Wolf is. They talk about chaos, but they are an order. So that would mean that there was some kind of foundational element, even if it is chaos. They're organized. They have a plan.
Right, so you think we should ask them what their plan was? And why they got trapped in the crystals?
I doubt they'll tell us outright, but
right.
unless they think they can gain something from it. Therein lies the rub.
Well, I think we know some of it, right? Like, they were after the keys, probably. And then they somehow came into contact with the Caldarian army, which then trapped them in prison crystals.
When Artemisia was speaking to Vosranath on their... apologies, I'll have to catch you up on quite a bit still. I know we've been trying, but it's hard. I sort of just bow my head to Thessaly and Seeker. We observed a communication between Artemisia, the sort of leader of the Temple of Femir, and this decaying thing. Sort of resembled a dwarf carved in amberstone.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's really creepy looking.
She spoke of something called an emergence. I think that would be in reference to the creature they were trying to bring out from the plane of fire. If they've got a horrible name for it, then that would indicate that it's not the only one, that's the plan all across the board.
You said that this Artemisia, does she have anything to do with the old Gothamir? Do you think that that's what this is about, or is this about something else entirely?
I wish I knew how much Femir was involved. I like to think that she's unwitting in her complicity, but there's no ruling it out. One of our sort of thoughts is that the old gods might be working with the outcast in order to retain their hold of the nations of Andel and Ganbaldir.
They need someone with more power, maybe.
It's the only thing keeping the new gods from taking over.
I think that's a line of questioning I would be very, very interested in knowing about. If that's okay, I'll let you all lead since you know a lot. A lot.
Well, I think it's also worth asking about specifically whether they know if there are any more, like whether they have any more keys in their possession, right? I mean, we know of those 2 other spots that the keys might be going to, matching.
Right.
For the air.
Do you have any way to make them talk?
Just my fist.
Yes, this one here. She's our muscle.
I was actually thinking about that over dinner, and I do have something that might help.
Oh yeah?
They could use all the help we can get.
I have a spell of sorts that would make it very, very difficult, practically impossible for someone to lie.
I have a trick or 2 of that in my own
All right.
possession. It's just a matter of whether or not they are slippery enough to mount
It also doesn't force them to tell the
to
truth.
speak it.
Mhm.
But we should really ask them if they know anything about what's happening at the Venville Rise and in Freywood.
Is that tip in our hand? Though, do they know that there are keys in those locations?
I don't know.
I guess we
Maybe
may as well
you
find
ask
out.
them in a way that doesn't say those things, right? And maybe ask around it. I don't know. You're better at that than me. Find a way to ask them without actually telling them anything.
I
You
just,
have a
I just
really
cradle
good
my
way.
head in my
You
hands.
have a really good way of like talking around things and like how like you kind of talk in circles and some of the words make sense and some of them don't. So maybe you can confuse them into saying something.
Thank you. All right. Tessely, maybe we can use some combination of your magic and my ability to not say anything to extract some fragment of truth from these creatures.
Sure, I'd be willing to help.
Flynn, what do you think?
So I'm over off in the corner, just almost not even paying attention to this whole conversation as I'm completely lost in this new book that I have, and I'm flipping through the pages, just trying to understand the gravity of what I just received, and I just kind of look up. Huh? What? Huh? What? What?
Are you paying any attention?
Definitely. Yep.
Okay, well, what do you think then?
I think we should do that.
What do you think we should do, Flynn?
What you said.
You think that we should interrogate them using spells to extract truth from people?
Sounds pretty good to me.
Okay.
Hey, did you see the sheep?
Did I see the sheep at the?
Yes, and first you heard it. But
Oh,
then
did
you did.
I'll look over in the distance. The last time I saw it, Timmy was with it, right? Timmy's over there.
Feeding
yeah.
it some
I'll look
corn.
over. What's Timmy up to now?
Timmy, it was very recently that you looked over. He's still over there. He's like petting the sheep. He's feeding it some seeds.
I'll look over longingly and just kind of smile and kind of look back. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, Kelly fixed it.
I looked at Kelly. Thank you. It's awesome that you did that.
We're the agents of repair. I can't go leaving a bunch of broken souls in our wake.
And I'll look up to the cage that holds the new demon form.
Yeah.
How did you manage to do it, though?
Don't know that I could replicate it. Sometimes I feel as though this arm of mine is not even my own, and sometimes it takes more of me than I hold of it, and I just felt the compulsion to give back a choice that we took away.
And at the mention of his arm, I will just hold up my arm and now look at all the differences in it and all the added ink and wonder if this is still mine.
But isn't that I mean, your name's on it, at least in one place that I know
My
of.
name's on this one.
Oh.
This is new.
Can't tell one script from the other. I truly thought it was...
Yeah, I really don't know what to do yet. I'm gonna go in this. Figure it out.
Is there any care you need to apply to that in the goings-on? I understand normally when people get things inscribed on their body, they
Right.
need to sort of look after it, keep it clean.
It does still hurt a bit.
'Cause I don't want to be like, waking up to you with a swollen,
Right.
nasty thing. I mean, I have enough to deal with in my own arm.
And I have a feeling that this ink is a little bit different than that normal style, so probably.
I would expect as much.
Hey, Freed.
Yeah.
Do you have like any magical ointment?
No, Flynn, I don't.
Do you have any regular ointment?
Timmy. See if we can find any ointment for Flynn.
Thanks, Timmy. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I'll see if that helps it.
Just want to make sure you're taken care of. So,
Yeah, appreciate it. Well,
of our prospective interrogees, who do y'all think would make the most willing participant?
Oh, that's a really good question.
We have the previously sheep beast.
I
know
don't
that
think that one.
That one really couldn't
No.
even form a sentence, let alone a word. We have Amara.
I don't know anything about Amara.
Who knows how well her facilities will hold up, given that she's in the body of a recently deceased half-orc. And then there's Sergath, or Pyros, depending on his mood, I suppose.
Zuriath is an asshole.
Right, but you know him, so that could help.
Yeah, but I don't like him, and he doesn't like me.
Why not do both at the same time? Some people talk to one and some talk to the other.
Sure, but maybe one could help us ask the other one more stuff. Hey, Freed.
Or we could use the information gleaned from one to talk to the other.
Also to see if they're lying.
are they within earshot?
No, they're on floating platforms hundreds of feet out.
Hey, Freed.
Yeah.
You seem like the kind of guy who's had some experience interrogating things.
I'm keeping myself out of this.
No, I totally respect that. Do you have any advice to people who are going in to interrogate? Other than not turning them to stone?
That's it's tough to talk when your mouth is stone. It took me a couple tries to figure out.
Is that a good threat, though? Talk or we'll turn you to stone?
I mean, you have to sort of know who you're interrogating. That's step number one. Is the best way to interrogate someone is to know as much as you can about them. Then you know if they're more susceptible to threats or promises of freedom, stuff like that.
Huh. Do I know anything about Zergath from my time with him that would make me feel like I knew one way or the other?
I'm gonna have you make an insight check.
No.
8.
He was, as long as you knew him, he was always very closed off, very sort of lone wolf type character. Don't really know too much about him.
Yeah.
No. And you always sort of kept your distance. He was always a little bit of a creep, so you didn't really
Totally.
hang out with him too much.
Yep.
I'm just going to say it. Do you care about them living?
Do I care
Seeker.
about them living? Probably, right? Like, we don't want to kill people who are in prison.
They tried to kill you, no?
Yeah, but they're in prison now. It seems kind of weird to kill them when they have no way of fighting back.
Yes, but my point is that you don't have much to hold over them to get information.
Well, we could turn them to stone.
Does that get you information?
If you're talking about a threat, you can't get information from their from them when they're dead either.
Yes.
Well, maybe we can bring the platform with all the stone bodies down and just show them the sea of stone bodies and tell them that they could join them and live there forever, or they could tell us what we need to know.
Also, the threat of floating in a circle for the foreseeable eons might be enough.
That's true. How long has that red dragon been there? I mean, come on. He's been here for a long time.
I want to put out there that I really don't want to kill anybody that's like in prison, essentially.
You're in
not
good company,
let's
Tessely.
not do that, please.
I'm not saying that you should kill them per se. I'm just saying that the threat of their lives may be the only thing that you have over them.
Okay.
And I've been part of one or two of these things in the past, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. So, it's a long story.
That's information I didn't have previously.
Yeah.
Do we really think that they believe we're going to let them go?
No.
We're not letting them go,
I don't
right?
think they believe that.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is we might be able to give them the impression that there's a chance they could get one over on us, if that would help us.
Yeah.
So like maybe we should pretend like we're so clueless that we have no idea what we're doing. So that they think that they can like win.
That's kind of true, though.
What do you mean, pretend?
Not that clueless.
Maybe not you.
As
Elbor.
a whole, I think we're trying to figure it out.
Do we have... Okay, another idea.
Okay.
Sometimes it is helpful to maybe make them think they are free, let them go, and follow them. See what they do.
Ooh.
That might be precarious.
Puts way too many lives at stake, Seeker. Any one of these creatures could destroy this entire town, Marstock, in an instant.
So what is your goal? Saving all of their lives or getting information to save the lives that are good?
I value every single life down to its fundamental lessons. Every last one.
How does that help you to the end of stopping this group?
Doesn't matter. I don't give it up. I won't trade it.
Just a thought. Are they all like the sheep? Are they all two combined essences?
Not quite like the sheep, but yes.
No, I mean Amara's just Amara, but
Well,
she's in a dead body.
I had a thought about that.
Oh?
If we could guarantee that the body could, fight for long enough to get some control, it's possible I could speak to that person.
How would you do that? I don't understand.
Well,
Because how does a dead thing fight for control?
I don't know, to be honest with you. But I have access beyond the veil.
You can talk to dead things?
I can.
Why?
I can do a lot of things on them. I don't know what you mean.
But why would you want to be able to talk to dead things?
A lot of what I do is not what I would like to. It just happens to be what I'm able to.
Okay, but it still begs the question, like, the dead thing can't fight Amara for control,
But
so...
if it could, right? We're talking about a lot of unknowns here. If the dead thing could fight for control, and if it's seen everything Amara has seen, while it's what she's using its body, I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
Then it would, and there's no reason not to communicate with us.
Well, what if we take that a step further? I wasn't here when you did whatever you did to that, and I'll point to the new demon. But if you can separate the sheep permanently, could you just separate the person permanently, and then we can just ask them without worrying about control?
Or I think that could be our leverage. That could be everyone witnessed what you did. If that's something that they want, is to have these essences inhabit other bodies, then you could threaten to separate them, which would diminish their power, right? That's not something that they would want.
oh. The reason they're not all like the sheep creature is because the sheep creature was two entities together, right? No, it was just...
Well, it was in me before.
Was
It was in you, that's true.
It was
So
a
it's
demon?
not a body. It's
No,
just
but the transfer was not successful entirely. We didn't manage to put that monster into the sheep.
But how does that monster have a body now?
Are you?
I think it manifested it.
From where?
Right.
It probably drew energy from multiple planes. I think part of what Hayfried had to do was give it some place to go, because otherwise it could just go out to whomever, like we saw with the crystals. So it has to have some kind of fragment of flesh, and I think it might have made the rest of it itself.
So they do need a body. That's something that they would want to hold on to.
Right. They need some corporeal form.
And, I mean, some are better than others, right? Like, Zergath never used to look like that. Like, he used to be kind of, like, thin and creepy and wheedly.
But you said they were wanting crystals, no?
Aye, as a form of punishment.
Hey, Freak, do you have crystals that we could use to feign a...
I've got no crystals.
Oh, come on, man.
He just throws his hands up in the air.
Anyone?
If I understand the nature of those crystals correctly.
No, I don't need real crystals. I just want them to think they are real.
Oh, well, I have... I dig through my bag to find the white crusty diamond that we still haven't pulled the stuff off of. I have this. It's not picturesque, but it might serve your threat.
Who's good at telling a lie?
Yeah, I'm fairly
Look
good
at
at
Omar.
telling a lie. I mean,
I'll go through my bag and as I remember, and I'll pull out a little vial. Or I think this is something that we could use to talk better. If anyone wants to take it,
have one of the
I still
The
have
last
one.
one.
I still have
The
one.
last
Very
one.
last one.
And if you guys,
Wow.
if you want to use it, I don't think I'd use it that well. So I think this is important, and we should use everything we got to get answers because we need them.
Why not ask them a lot of questions, see where it goes, and then, if it goes nowhere, threaten this. If they've been there before, they know it's possible.
Aye.
Or at least just threatening the loss of their vessel. That could be a problem for them too. Maybe worse than death.
Sure. My fear is these types, they cut throats at a moment's notice. I don't know how well threats from us will play out.
This is all you have. If you're not willing to cut their throats, then you have to threaten them with something that will scare them.
But that's why I propose speaking to a creature that isn't them. That's my
Okay.
gambit.
Okay. Well, before we talk about whether we're gonna kill them or not gonna kill them, let's just talk about something
They're
else.
not going to kill them.
Okay, I've already
not-
said that I
Thank you.
don't.
We're not talking about killing. Yet.
Okay, so remember when Thaddeus made the big one, Zergath's former body, like go blah, and then we were able to transport him here.
Yes.
Yeah, well, so like, couldn't we just do something like that to Amara's body so that she goes blah, and then she doesn't have control anymore?
When you say blah, what does that mean?
I mean, like, Thaddeus was like, stop, and his eyes flashed, and then Zergath stopped.
Yeah, almost like he listened.
Wait, so what exactly is the plan here? We make him stop and then what?
No, like, what if we made it so that Amara didn't have control over her body anymore, right? Like,
Aye, so then...
yeah, so that
With
then
rest
you
control.
could rest control and talk to the dead
But also,
body.
Flynn, we've applied magics previously to prevent the creature from accessing you when you were holding it. Right? If we used those sort of protective magics against the darkness,
Right. And I'll tap my little bag of powder. Yeah,
and then
that could work.
also combine that with your idea, Oma.
Yeah.
And
And we could probably do the same thing to Zergath, right? And Puro, so make Puros go bleh,
Do we need?
and then
We need Thaddeus for that, though, right?
I mean, I can't do it.
I'll look. Do I see Thaddeus around? Do I see the head?
Yeah, over on one of the floating
Does any-
platforms, Thaddeus is hanging out with 86.
Does anyone else know how to make creatures stop and go bleh?
No.
I don't have blip powers, but I've been told I'm persuasive, so I could try that.
Yeah,
I could try a different angle.
I might be able to do something, but I have another question.
please.
This plan. You say how dangerous they are. Is this all done from this side of the prison, or do we have to go in the cell? Or
I think we just pull them up to us, or we can go to them. I think.
Well, Hayford can make the cell shrink in on them.
yes, like
and
he
then
did
they're
with
like,
Oh, that would be cool.
Oh, yeah.
That would help. And then I don't have to put my hand in. I like that.
Right.
yeah, he'll go splat like up against the.
Oh, so
cell.
wait, Hayfree can make them go blat.
No, splat.
Oh, splat.
Yeah.
This is confusing.
Splat is when they don't have control. Splat
Perhaps
is when
we
their
just-
face is like smushed up against the bars. Why
Okay.
is that so hard to understand?
It's very
All right,
similar.
we have to learn the technical terms
Yeah.
for these things.
All right, well,
I've only studied under you for so long, Alma. You'll have to forgive us.
I feel like you're mocking me.
I would never mock you, Alma.
Hey!
as they're arguing, I'll go over to Thaddeus and 86.
Okay.
Hi, 86. How you doing?
I'm doing quite well. How about yourself?
Well, we're doing okay. We're trying to figure out a way to ask some questions. And I don't know if you have the capability, but Thaddeus was able to kind of influence someone's decisions, I guess, and made someone stop when he said stop. I don't know if you can do that.
I'm pretty good at doing stuff like that.
Oh.
And he pulls a knife out from his
Oh,
belt.
well, no. Not differently. Maybe I should just talk to Thaddeus about it. Do you mind?
Yeah, sure. Here. And he like tosses.
I'll catch him. Do I remember if there's a way to turn him on for longer?
Yes.
More than just 10 minutes.
So basically, you can either do it 3 times a day for 10 minutes, or you can do it once a day for an hour.
I'll do it for 10 minutes for now, just because I'm not sure when we're going to start this, and I'll just do the 10 minute and I'll turn him on.
Okay.
Hey,
Hey.
Thaddeus. So we're still waiting to have you guys ship off, but in the meantime, we've been trying to figure out a way to get some answers from some very bad people, and we think you might be able to help us. Is that something you'd be willing to do?
I'd love to.
Okay.
Any way I can help.
86. I'll be right back. I'm gonna take him over to the group,
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
and I'll head over with Thaddeus' head, and I'll bring him to the group. Hey, Thaddeus said he's down to help.
Yeah, okay, Thaddeus. Remember at the fight like a little bit ago when you did something and your eyes flashed and you made Zergath like freeze? Can you do that again if we ask you to?
I could certainly give it a try. That one's not always a guarantee, but I can definitely try for you.
I mean, trying is as
Would-
good as anything.
Would we just need him to stop, or would we need him to do something else? Can it do something
what
else?
about sleep?
Or leave? Maybe he'll leave the body. I don't know.
Well,
How does it work?
That's the thing. Is it's sort of up for interpretation for whatever I say.
Huh.
However, that creature wants to take it. So if I say leave, honestly, looking at the cage, they could just do nothing if they know that leaving
Right.
isn't an option.
Well, what about sleep?
Sleep, I could try.
So couldn't we just do this with Puros and Zergath? Because Zergath is like awake and has been seeing everything, and it's more similar to the Flynn situation, right? Because Flynn remembers everything that happened when he was taken over,
right.
and so maybe Zergath would actually want to be freed. Like if we could free him, he might actually really want to be freed, right? Like if we could actually separate him from the demon.
Flynn, you went toe-to-toe with that creature in combat. Do you know if you were fighting Zargath or Puros for the duration?
I'll think back to the fight. Did I feel like I could glean anything when I was fighting?
You were in close quarters combat
Yeah.
with them. It very much seemed it was almost like 1 second you were fighting one creature and then the next second you were fighting something completely else. It seemed as though they were almost switching back and forth cooperatively in order to get the upper hand.
Cooperatively, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once one fighting style took over the other, it seemed pretty seamless. There was no transition period.
Did it seem like there was any conflict? Like, I want to take over, no, I want to take over.
Make an insight check.
10.
10. Not that you saw. I mean, in combat, you would know if there is even a moment of hesitation or conflict, thinking about what you're going to do next. That's an opportunity for the opponent to get the upper hand, and you didn't feel any of that in your combat with them.
I mean, some of the styles that they were using seemed to be different, but it seemed like almost there wasn't any struggle. It didn't seem like whatever was happening between whatever's in there, it seemed willing on both sides. So I don't know if you'll be able to bring them out because maybe they won't want to.
Well, one thing I know about Zergath is that he's really slimy and he doesn't want to be in prison. So if we can find a way, I think he's willing to. There's a possibility that if he thinks he can get out,
That's a good
If we
point.
offered him his freedom in exchange for the entrapment,
Yeah.
continued entrapment of
You
his
said that-
possessor,
They saw what happened when you fixed the sheep, right?
it's hard to miss.
So yeah, just say that, hey, if you don't listen, we'll do that and you can go free and we'll keep the demon thing here. And maybe then he'll want to take over and answer questions.
As much as Zergath might be benefiting from the power of Pyros, it would make sense that he wouldn't want to be
Stuck here forever.
convicted for the crimes that this other creature
Yeah.
committed.
yeah, you can't get any benefits being in a prison cell.
Yeah, and then that'll make them want to speak too, because we need answers. If you give us answers, you get out. And then you said you can make them speak the truth, right, Thessaly?
I can make it very, very difficult for someone to tell a lie. I can't force them to say anything true, but nothing false can come out of their mouth.
Right, and if we tell them that if you tell us stuff, we'll let you out. So then they have to speak and tell us stuff, and it'll have to be the truth, probably. I like this idea.
I think it's a good call. I think it's as good a bet as we have.
Should we start with Zergath then?
Let's do it.
Yeah, and I mean, you can talk with dead things later if you want to.
That's all right. I don't need to talk at dead things. It's not a compulsion.
Okay.
It would also require making a thing dead.
Well, that one is mostly dead.
See the hole?
Yes.
It's kind of hard to see it from here, but
Yeah. When
Oh,
we
right.
first met her, we met her like forever ago. Actually, I met her when I met Kellic and Flynn.
Yeah.
And Trya.
I knew her before she was reanimated. You know, I tried my best to
Yeah, they
help
were
with
just
this.
a dead body. They were just a dead body with a giant hole in their center.
I know them very briefly before that.
And then
sorry
the
to
crystals broke and they took over that body.
Yeah.
So now it's Amara.
Oh,
So many questions.
Welcome
Let's move.
to the team.
Yeah.
this
Thank you.
is what we have to sort of muddle through.
Okay.
let's talk to them.
Let's do it.
Hey, Freed.
Yeah.
I think we're ready.
Yeah, and I think it still is wise to have, if we could, bring down the graveyard of statues.
I
Couldn't
can
hurt.
do that. Yeah.
Just as like a visual cue.
Okay.
Also, is there a way to make it so the others can't see? I know they're far away, but just maybe make it so they can't see through their cages in case we do something.
If you want to give me a couple hours,
Okay.
or you can just throw sheets over the top of them.
Yeah, let's and I'll look around for the bookshelf of all the bookshelves on. Could we just put that in front of their
I mean, yeah, sure.
view?
Yeah, I can do that. And as Hayfried raises his hands, he simultaneously brings down the platform with the statues, moves over the platform with the books to be in between the main platform and the platform of Amara. And he also brings closer the platform with Zergath and Pyros.
As he's doing that, I'm just behind him, kind of like mimicking his movements, just like, put one down.
I watch Flynn do this and I stand behind him as I just watch him move his arms back and forth.
And then at the end of when it's all finalized and things are in place, I'll look down at my hand and be like, maybe one day.
I'll pull my head in close to Flynn's ear. What are you doing?
What? Nothing. No, just stretching.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Okay. It's really weird. Your hips were like shaking back and forth and you were wiggling.
Well, that's like a special
All right, we're ready to go. As the platform with Zergath and Pyros locks itself in place in this vastness of empty space, and a stone bridge apparates to that platform.
All right. Well, are we still doing and I'll pat the dust pouch on my. Are we still doing that? And I'll wipe my fingers on my forehead. Are we still doing the?
That will make it easier for Zergath to come through.
Okay.
If that's our hope.
All right.
I think he's probably going to be more open to speaking to us.
Order of operations. What makes most sense? Black powder, truth, black powder, black. There's so many other options. What do we think makes the most sense?
The bleh will make it easier for Flynn to apply his powder, right?
Oh, that's true.
It's going to be a momentary bleh at best.
So black powder, truth.
How long will he be bled for?
Oh,
If I recall, not long. Just a moment.
For
If
me,
he's even black at all.
right.
Right.
I know that the
well, I mean, if I ask him to sleep, I mean, it could be possible that he just stays asleep.
Well,
Okay.
no talking to him at that point, though. That's the question.
Yeah. From my experience, it's like a few minutes for the powder that stays on before it kind of washes off. So, how long will the truth thing be up?
it's usually about 10 minutes.
Right.
So maybe we always do it all at once.
Kellic, do you have any way of trying to get the one we want to talk to?
Reaching Zergath.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with our,
No more than what Flynn is supplying.
Okay.
and we're also gonna say, hey, Zergath, if you went out, tell us some stuff, and we'll separate you from your demon and get you out of here.
Yeah, I should be able to tell if it's Zergath talking
And
or
I'll-
a demon talking, because I remember Zergath.
Hey,
Oh.
do you all want me to? And Hayfried sort of puts his hands up and like moves his palms closer to each other, indicating like shrinking the cage.
Yeah.
yeah.
Can you splat?
I can.
Splat?
It's not like permanent splat.
Well,
don't
no.
splat him.
And he reaches his hand up and he slowly closes his hand into a fist as the bars glide along the stone platform and slowly make their way and actually make contact with Zergath and Pyros as they are standing there completely confined in an upright position.
How do they look?
Cool.
Confused.
Angry.
A little bit of anger in there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will hold up the potion that I mentioned earlier. Does anyone want to take this? Who's going to be talking? Do we think we should use it now?
Kellic, do you want to talk?
Sure.
I can also talk, or
can
like
talk.
anybody can
I'm
talk.
happy to talk.
I'll just hold it out to both of them.
I'll take it.
Okay, and I'll give it to Kelly. Do we want them to be separate, right? We just want Zergath, right?
Just Zergath for now.
I'll look over. Is it just Zergath, or is Amara's cage there too?
Amara's is still.
Okay, so
Wait,
and the demon.
That's the
okay,
one that,
cool.
that he put the
So
book.
it's just Zergath right now.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. All right. Should I do it? Are we doing it all at the same time? Seems to be roughly around the same amount of time.
Hey, let's do it.
All right, I'll hold Thaddeus out, and I'll set him within range, like a few feet away. Is this far enough away? Can you do it from here?
Yeah, we should be good here.
Whenever you're ready, and I'll reach my hand in and get the pouch. Get ready.
All right. And Thaddeus looks directly into their eyes. His eyes flash green, and he says, "Sleep, sleep, sleep." As the voice echoes off, and let me see. As you see the body go completely limp,
Yes.
the eyes close, and soon enough, you have a sleeping Zergath Pyros in front of you.
Awesome.
Black.
I just nod apathetically to Oma.
I will approach this sleeping Zergath and reach my fingers in to the pouch to get some of this silver powder and rub it in between my fingers. And it kind of hurts a little bit, and where the tattoos on my fingertips are new. And I feel like almost like more of a surge of energy than I did before that I'm not used to. And I fight it, and I reach out, and I just quickly swipe across Zergath's forehead and cast protection from evil and good.
Okay.
And I think that's a saving throw unless sleep does something. They have to make a... Ooh,
Doesn't it give them advantage
protection.
on...
I guess it just gives them
There's
protection.
no unwilling target stipulation.
Okay, then yeah,
so
then it just works.
it just works.
And then I will
Okay.
just step away from the cage and kind of, as I do, I shake my hand.
As he does this, I just have like a nervous moment to myself as I like fiddle with the stopper on the potion, and I will quaff this last silvery potion.
Okay.
They said simultaneously, so while all that was going on, I was just lingering slightly, like 5 feet behind everybody, and I place my right hand like right over my collarbone, where I know my amulet rests underneath my cloak, and I'm gonna go ahead and whisper something under my breath that even I don't understand, and cast Zone of Truth.
Okay. As this zone of truth apparates in front of you, what are y'all doing?
I'm gonna just real quick. I'd like to raise an eyebrow at Thessaly as she does this.
Mhm.
Can I tell what kind of magic she's using?
Make a
Ooh, that's
either
right.
religion or arcana check.
Oh no!
I was trying to be subtle.
Well, I rolled very low, so that you're lucky. 13.
13.
Religion.
It is divine magic. You don't recognize exactly
Oh.
what it is.
Okay.
From your experience, probably not divine magic of Famir, just because you are so familiar with that.
Yeah.
But it does seem to have some divinity towards it.
Okay. Okay. Just a momentary glance of like.
Yeah.
"Mm."
And then from behind, that was cool.
Yeah, that was thanks. Okay, let's move on.
I will approach this cage and kneel down in front of it. And what's closer to me? Are they prone horizontally or vertically? In
They're
relation to
like
me?
standing up vertically.
Oh, okay.
Their head is like sort of leaned off to the side, resting on one of the bars.
Okay, so in that case, I will sort of I'll approach and I will adjust his garments. I will kind of brush the dust off of his coat and fix his collar and conclude this sort of bizarre movement by just like almost as though knocking on a door, knocking on his sternum, just a couple quick taps. See if
Okay.
I can stir him from the slumber.
And with like a couple of quick jolts that don't really move the body around anywhere, the eyes burst open and look right at you.
Hi there. Long time no see.
And the eyes sort of gaze over the entire group.
I wave.
And the eyes fixate on Olma and like squint.
Hi, Sir Gath.
His eyes move back to Kellic.
Is that you, Zergath? Is that who I'm speaking to?
Yes. And he sort of like looks around, like not expecting that answer to come from his mouth.
Oh,
How you doing in there?
I'm doing well enough. Not where I want to be.
By that you mean in this construction? Or in the flesh of a body that's no longer your own?
The flesh suits me fine. The cage is my problem.
I want to walk over to Oma. Like, I'm behind Thessaly. Even I want to kind of work my way up and just kind of bend down. And is that what he sounded like when you knew him?
Yeah, I mean, mostly.
Okay.
So all this chaos, this Vasronath business, it's fine with you?
I've been learning the ropes. And yes, I've enjoyed my time. Gives me greater purpose.
Purpose other than living the good life? Making money?
purpose beyond gold.
And that purpose is what exactly? What could be better than gold? For a man of refined tastes, such as yourself.
The world, as I have come to know it, is much like this cage. You don't see the bars, but they're there. I have been learning to get rid of the bars. Free myself entirely of the cage.
It's rather altruistic of you, if you don't mind me saying. Really, enlightened.
Like I said, I've been learning.
Well, can't say that I have any power to free you from that cage, per se. But, let's say I could free you from this one. What would you be willing to do to obtain, let's call it, a lesser freedom? Would you be willing to give us a little bit of details about the goings-on of you and your counterpart here?
I suppose so. But if I'm being truthful, still rather new. I can give you answers, but perhaps not the ones that you're looking for.
How much of Pyros do you know? How much do you see?
I often see through his eyes. I see his actions. And although his temperament may be different, I'm learning that what I thought once was the only way to do things is not so the case. Sometimes a certain brutality, a sledgehammer is needed. I now have that option.
But do you have that option, Zergath? Or are you merely being strung along? What's the end result here? Zergath lives in a world free of bars? Or Pyros takes Zergath's body as much as he wants and gets to live his life beyond his expiration date?
We have come to an agreement that I feel more than comfortable with. We serve as partners to each other. Each enhancing each other's strengths, removing weaknesses.
Do we all hear this? We're all able to hear this?
Speaking to the group.
That's until you defy them. I know firsthand. As soon as you do something that they don't like, you're done. So don't think that you're going to be a partner forever.
It's worked out well so far.
So far.
I mean, what's it been, like a month?
You said it yourself, you're new. Well, I'll put it to you straight. We aren't troubled by Zergath of the Hollow Guard. This Pyros fella, he concerns us. We wish to keep them locked away. So it might be within our power, as you've seen, to give you your true freedom. And then you can go make whatever world you want if you're so caught up in the zealotry of the movement. But only if you work with us.
What guarantee would you give? I saw what you did with the other creature.
Well, the sheep is out there, running free.
You're the sheep in this case.
In this scenario, that's the fact.
Is that something you can guarantee? I saw your struggle.
Well,
You can't tell me that you had full control over that.
I have as much control over that as you have of your own body. Probably more. You know me as an honest person. You'll take my word for it.
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah.
At advantage.
Add advantage because of emotion, baby.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
26.
Hey.
There we go. Let's go.
Okay, I'm also going to have you make an insight check for me.
Okay.
Nice.
17.
17. As you say that, you can see he closes his eyes and is quiet for a moment. Almost, you get the sense trying to observe if Pyros has an ear in this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
If that is a guarantee you can provide, I would be willing to accept my freedom.
If you are able to provide us with information that proves helpful to our pursuit, then I see no reason to deny you that freedom. So, tell us. What keys are in the possession of these followers of the Outcast? We've seen one to the plane of fire. What of others?
What is your intent if I give you this information?
Well, we wish to know the merit of this claim. If the world is truly in prison, then it would be corrupt of me to not be a part of the movement to free it.
Deception. Deception.
Yeah, make a deception.
Okay.
Sorry, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't.
At advantage. At advantage.
I had to laugh.
Natural
Wow.
20. For a total of 24.
As he just convinced he's an honest man.
I am an honest man. Lie.
I mean, the best time to lie, we're going to be.
I love it.
From what I have seen, the Hollow Guard is in possession of no other keys at this moment.
The Hollow Guard or the organization at large?
We had ties to the Hollow Guard. That was where our station lied.
Aye.
There was no overlap
With the others.
with the others.
Bunuk tribe and so on. See. And, what of the senior Drumwind? Last we heard they'd found no sign of him. Where are they looking?
We have no location on the senior Drumwind.
And the efforts to search for him have stalled in favor of his son.
And his head slowly bows in the affirmative.
How does opening portals to bring forth demons free the world? Have you learned that?
He stays quiet.
Will you not share with me the secrets of this revelation? I once served Famir until she abandoned me I've been betrayed by this world left and right. I now play like a child with the magics of another god.
Those were not answers yet given to me.
What compels you then to believe?
The things that I have seen and prophecies that have been handed down continue to speak truths. Small events, day after day, have been predicted weeks before. And I wish not go against power like that.
Aye. Power. The old gods. Are they involved? Do they associate with those clerics? How connected is Famir and her lot to the workings of this group?
You have to understand that I am merely a vessel of the Hollow Guard's action, and as one of you may already know, in the Hollow Guard, information apart from what is necessary is sparsely given.
I pipe up. Yeah, but you're also traveling with Amara, and the person who has ultimate power that Kellic used to report to. So clearly you were around people who knew things, so you're not just an emissary for the Hollow Guard.
And he looks back to Amara's cage. And you have her here. Yet here you stand asking me questions.
Yeah.
DM,
Yes.
would I have felt if, they superseded my zone of truth? Was it effectual? Am I able to tell if...
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
You
just
can,
making sure.
if they succeed that save, you would be able to know.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, Sargath, and we'll get to her. But if you want what Kellic has offered you, then you need to tell us everything you know also. Okay? So, Kellic asked, what do you know about the gods having an impact? Not what does the Hollow Guard know, what do you know?
As it was explained to me, our ultimate goal is to free Vasronath, and with his power, remove the cages of this world.
And how do portals help you with that?
As it was told to me, the more chaos that we sow across the world, the more power Vasronath gains.
He feeds off of the chaos?
I believe so.
Well, couldn't you just cause chaos for more than just opening up portals to other worlds? Why is that?
It's destroying the fabric of the weave. To open portals of that size,
Does that weaken it so that Vasronath can also get through?
it definitely creates chaos beyond imagination. What traps Vasronath? That he must be freed. Is he not able to walk?
He is not. Not yet.
Where is he being held?
A plane beyond this one, though which I do not know.
So that might be why they need the plane keys.
That is entirely possible.
I mean, I'm just going from A to B and coming up with C, so...
What of the waste, Sergath? Have you been Have you been to the waste?
He looks a little bit confused. I have not.
And, the fallen storm. Does that mean anything to you?
Not within my recollection.
I sort of like look broadly to the group. Like I turn away from him, fully steely-eyed, and then as I turn, I'm kind of like my eyebrows pop up, and I kind of widen my eyes.
What was your next step? What was your next thing to do after we went down? What were you going to do next?
If the emergence was successful, what
that-
happens next?
If that thing came through.
In all likelihood, perish to whatever came through.
You were to die there.
If the chance occurred that Amara and I could escape, though we knew the risks as we were there, then we would have gone back to the Hollow Guard, awaited orders. But a likelihood of death was always there.
So you weren't going to go and meet back with Kellic, what's her name?
Artemisia?
Yeah.
That was not what we were instructed to do.
Do you know where Artemisia was going?
I do not know her location.
Okay, what about anything else?
If you die in service to this, though, Zergath, how do you benefit from it? I admire your commitment to your cause. It's inspiring, but I struggle with it.
What do you value?
Life, the fruits of life, the joy I feel.
And would you not die for that cause?
If I were to no longer experience it, then dying would remove the very thing that I value.
But for others.
You want to give that world to others? When before you were a Hollow Guard assassin?
He doesn't answer.
Does he seem like... I think I know the answer to this, but does he seem unwavering in that?
Make an insight check. I'll give you advantage because he's within the zone of truth.
There it is. 27.
Oh,
Okay. It seems standing before you is a creature who is steadfast in that belief, though possibly misguided in how they're going about it.
Okay.
If we let you go right now, Zergath, where are you going to go?
He doesn't answer.
You're just going to keep on keeping on, doing what you're doing, just without the extra brawn?
I do not believe that was an answer within the terms of our agreement.
I'm just curious. You know?
What was the next cage you were going to remove? Said you wanted to remove the cages of the world. What are they exactly?
The bounds that are put in place of this world, not allowing people the freedom that they need,
So like
the predetermined destiny of people and events.
so that's why you want chaos? To remove all those boundaries?
That is a step required to achieve it.
So what happens once there's chaos? We all die, and there's no one left on this world? Then what?
Not everyone.
Just Vasronath.
Most people will die.
And then what?
And then a new world can begin.
Without the new gods or the old gods?
I hope.
Is that the cage? Divinity. The gods as we understand them.
He nods his head affirmatively.
So you want to wipe the slate clean? Start over.
Well, thank you, Zargath, for your cooperation. We're going to discuss amongst ourselves.
No, that was not our agreement.
Yeah, it was, because we have to decide if you gave us everything that you
And
could have
if
given.
it's,
You said you would let me free.
if it's worthy information, if it leads
He starts
to an
like jerking
advantage
around in the
investigation.
cage.
He said that like right before he started asking questions. He specifically said if it's valuable information, so we have to determine whether it's valuable. You've interrogated people before. You know how this works.
And I say it as loudly as I can so that Amara might hear. We thank you kindly for your cooperation, Zargath. You've given us much we can ponder in the next moments, and we'll see if it ends up helping us to stop this ridiculous plot of yours.
Yeah.
And then I sort of like indicate to Hayfried to like get the cell out of our physical presence.
And as you back up off of the bridge back onto the main platform, he almost like with a dismissing hand wave motion, the platform glides back into its place in the outer circle.
As Zergath is going away, can I get in one more spell real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I'm like shaking with rage, and I put my hand up to my collarbone one more time. And I'm going to go ahead and upon seeing Zergath like twitch and try to move around, I'm just, because I want to, going to cast hold person so he can't move and can't have the thing that he wants to do.
Okay. Is that a save on his
That
part?
is, it's a wisdom save.
Okay. As a 9?
Nope.
Nice.
Not even close.
Nice.
All right, and as Hayfried sort of dismisses the platform back, the cage itself begins to open up, and the bars go back into the place that they normally were. But Zergath's body is still like completely rigid in the standing up position as the platform glides and continues in its circle.
I just smile a little bit.
All right, we're on to the next one.
I don't know. Do you think there's more we can get than that?
Zergath said that they're the one that has more answers. They're higher up.
I thought Zergath would be the easiest to convince, but he was completely committed to their cause. To be honest with you, there's a world in which I would gladly free Zergath of that kind of fate, but not like this, not with such devotion.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to go back to them and keep
serving.
Except now he knows where our void is, and now he knows like that we have access to all this stuff. So I don't know if there's any way to like make him forget all of that.
What if we pretend like we want to be a part of it? Could we even
I did my best effort at that, and even then the information was sparse. We could try with Amara, but
What else would she want?
what besides more people devoted to her cause?
I don't think she'd care about death. I don't think she'd care
No,
about...
she's fearless. She's literally in the deceased body as it is.
And I don't think I'm up to torture.
They didn't
Again,
plan to leave. You heard what he said.
They expected to die for their cause.
Yeah.
So we have nothing to threaten them with.
And they may not know more plans, because why would you tell someone you expect to die? What is happening
Any
next?
further goals? Yeah. I think we did gain something from that, though. Don't tell Zergath. But we did not know that Vossernoth was in chains. I thought him free.
Yeah.
I thought him able to influence others. I mean, clearly he has some kind of way to walk amongst the living and influence people like Zeta. But,
I don't know. I would love to know about these prophecies that he talked about. If Amara's been there longer.
And as you reference Amara, you look out and you see her cage floating in a circle. And whereas previously you saw that she was in a sitting position facing away from everyone, now she is standing with her arms behind her back. You can actually see like her hands clasped behind her through the hole in her chest, looking at all of you, almost waiting expectantly.
She looks like she's ready to talk to us.
It can't hurt. Might as well.
All right, will
Also,
someone else
this,
take point on this? I actually hate lying. It makes me so uncomfortable.
You did a good job.
Someone who hates lying, you're very good at it.
I'll take point.
All right.
Do we have a game plan for this one? I don't think separating the body is going to do
No.
so well.
Mm-mm.
But we have the fact that we have talked to Zergath to hold, if that's of any value to us.
We could just say that he said stuff.
We could bluff and say we know more than we do.
Yeah.
Right, but then what are we asking for?
I think Olma made an excellent point when she said about the prophecy specifically, and maybe we could learn more about these chains that they're trying to free the outcast from.
Which might help if maybe Zergath convinced us of the value of their pursuit and we just want to understand further what the actual end result is. What the prophecies are, what they predict.
Possibly.
And we know that they don't have any more keys.
Yet.
Now that I know that, DM, now that I know that Amara has been stationed with the Hollow Guard, does her name sound familiar to me?
In that conversation, it was your understanding that Zergath and Pyros are stationed with the Hollow Guard. You do not. They did not specify about Amara.
Got it.
Before we bring them down, do we know if these keys are really a thing? I mean, I know I have the one, but
All we have is the blueprints that you have
so do they
brought to
need
us.
the locksmith to make them, or are they out there in the world right now?
It seemed as though they were drawn, right? And you took an etching, is that right,
Yes.
Seeker? So I would assume that they already exist. And you all said that you saw them use one that looked like the drawings we...
We have it in our
Huh?
possession.
So I would think the rest of them exist. I think we should operate from here forward like they do, because if not, then they're going to try to make them regardless.
In Dakir, Artemisia said they'd found that key in the terror.
Found it.
That they pulled it. So maybe Bram hid these keys?
Is this Bram? Is this the drumwind that you mentioned?
That's right.
And this is the one that makes keys?
He's a locksmith.
Oh.
He may be dead. We don't know.
He's missing.
It seems that we need all of the information that we can get from that one, but don't really have much to give. Freedom, possibly,
Mm,
Or
the illusion of freedom.
or that we are capable of being swayed. That they could have
I think that's a good
5
idea.
powerful servants to Phosphoronath in their favor.
After our discussion with Zergath, we are curious for more information. Maybe.
You got to play the cards you're dealt.
I got a plan. I'm ready.
Okay.
All right. And Hayfried reaches his hand out and starts pulling Amara's cage closer. The stone bridge apparates. And you all are standing right next to Amara.
Hi, Amara.
And I'll pick up Thaddeus. Should we do it again?
I assume any number of you have some sort of truth spells. I am more than willing to undergo whatever spells you would like to put me under.
Cool. Yeah,
I have nothing to hide.
totally.
All right.
Does that mean you're just willing to talk?
That is precisely what that means.
A truth spell still.
Just
Okay.
a guarantee. As she nods towards Seeker. Don't blink her.
So I put my hand up to my collarbone, mutter my words, and there's always this sort of like luminescent quality to my skin. And it just sort of shimmers out and just cascades in like this little globe around Amara. And it's like this silvery sort of almost like moonlight quality.
Pretty.
Oh.
You have nothing to hide?
No.
Why were you in a prison, Crystal?
Because myself and a few other members of the Order of the Red Wolf, as well as in joint collaboration with some members of the Hollow Guard, had attempted to kidnap I believe, lieutenant within the army of Kaldur, a man by the name of Kale Drumwind. it was brought to my attention that his father was not able to be located, and a good possible source of persuasion would have been to kidnap his son's family, if possible, and hopefully draw out the locksmith himself. Unfortunately, when we got there, we were met with more resistance than we had initially thought, and it seemed that the forces of the Kaldurian army were amassed more than usual at that time, and we were quickly overtaken. We attempted to flee towards the border, but they caught up to us, and in short order, we were taken and imprisoned within crystals.
How long have you been traveling with... I'm sorry, Kellic, I can never remember her name.
Artemisia.
Yeah, such a weird name. How long have you been traveling with Artemisia?
I had not been traveling with her for too long, but I'm aware of her cooperation with the Order of the Red Wolf for at least the last few months.
Yeah, and we know she's got like a couple keys and she gave you one.
She doesn't have any other keys, as far as I am aware. I am also not ignorant enough to admit that not everything is told to me. So, as far as I am aware, she only was in possession of the one.
Oh, right. So it was Corvin that had the other keys.
I am unaware of any keys that Corvin has.
So nobody had any of the other keys? Then where are they?
Not that I'm aware of. There is more than possible that that different people within our organization have keys, and that information is kept on a need-to-know basis.
Who would be the person who needs to know?
Corvin Emberstone.
So he's like the big guy, big boss?
Yes, he coordinates most of our movements.
Got it. We saw his tomb. It was super creepy because he wasn't in there. Where is he?
I do not know his current location.
Is Artemisia then the... just underneath him in terms of your hierarchy? Is that how this works?
I would not say directly... Well, although she is, yes, oftentimes commanded directly by Lord Corvin Emberstone, I would not say that she is 100% within his favor, although her defection, what I hear relatively recently, she's risen quite quickly within the ranks. But no, I would not say that she's quite gained the favor of being his right hand.
And...
although looking at her trajectory, it's easy to see how maybe one day soon she will be.
You see, it's almost like I'm trying to subdue revulsion. Just like full, like, I don't know, the compulsion to throw up. Like that level of just... And how is it that she commands the magic of Thamir if the goal of your organization is to end the rule of the gods on this world?
It's actually a fascinating story. She, although a proprietor of the old gods, wished to join our organization, and so not willing to give up all of her power, she told me of a ritual that she undertook to not only break a portion of her connection to the old gods, but also allowing her to keep some of that power as well and extend that power beyond what she was normally capable of. She's broken her ties to the gods as a whole, but still, in a certain way, in her own way, has held on to that divine magic and did not release all of it.
That witch stole a fragment of Thamir, and I just like go up to the bars, and I just like put my face directly in front of her. She rendered a god of light to sow the seeds of chaos.
Wow, quite emotional.
Kellic, we're not here to talk about Artemisia anymore. Stop it.
Calm down.
And I just like whip away from it and like try to contain myself.
Apologies, I seem to have struck a nerve.
Okay, so forgetting Artemisia for a little bit because clearly that's an issue. What about the Fallen Storm? Who is that?
The Fallen Storm was at one time a weapon that was used to sow chaos. Although in their attempt to break a portion of the divinity from the world, they were stopped.
In Primordia.
Yes,
A weapon or a person?
one and the same.
Oh, the person is a weapon.
Yes.
And they were in where's Primordia?
It's in the center of the waste, or it was.
Was this person alone?
No, her and, well, actually, interesting enough, her father was the beginnings of our organization. The daughter of the Red Wolf.
The daughter of the Red Wolf. Got it. So the Red Wolf and Vospernoth aren't the same thing?
No,
Does she still exist?
not to my knowledge.
So,
I believe she was killed many years ago.
I am just like hunched and like sweating.
so the Red Wolf, the Order of the Red Wolf, was he the first person to figure out about Vospernoth and try to free him?
Yes.
Oh, and that's why it's the Order of the Red Wolf, because everybody's also trying to free him. I get it. I mean, that makes a little bit of sense. But, like, why?
What do you mean, why?
Well, the Red Wolf is... The tomb looks like it was from, like, a million years ago. So, like, were the old gods in power then? Or was somebody else in power?
It was, well, I would say a few generations ago, the Red Wolf had begun our order. And yes, the old gods extend far, far before his time.
So he also wanted the chains to be free?
The Red Wolf, yes.
And what plane is Vospernoth on?
We believe he resides in one of the levels of the Abyss.
Oh,
Fitting.
Imprisoned there, for...
who put him in prison? Or her? I mean, who put them in prison?
presumably someone or a group of people who are very powerful.
Did the fallen storm fight against her father or for her father?
The Fallen Storm, her beliefs were very much in line with her father, although her father had passed away when she was quite young and she was taken under the wing of Corbin Emberstone.
So the Red Wolf is dead.
Yes.
And she was a weapon for Vospernoth.
That is correct.
Why are you so open to telling us all of this?
Well, on one hand, I was hoping just a little bit that you all would be able to see the bigger picture, that the gods are destroying and enslaving this world. And through some means, I hope to open your eyes to that. And even if you don't agree with me now, I'm hoping if you continue down this path that you'll soon see the truth that lay before you.
So even the new gods?
Yes.
Vospernoth isn't related to them?
Not to my knowledge. Although, anytime you have gods in the sky, there will be a certain level of helplessness that the people below them will have. And although in the beginning, this war did do quite good things for our cause in sowing chaos, very quickly, the chaos dulled as the more the war expanded. In the beginning, people were quick to abandon their faith. As people were dying, as families were not being reunited, people quickly lost their faith, but through some act, as the war went on, people began to fortify themselves and reach back out towards the gods and find security in that. So, fairly surprisingly, the longer the war goes on, the more power the gods seem to have.
So this chaos is not quantifiable by bloodshed. You mean to say that it's directly proportional to the amount of belief and trust the
That is
populace
correct.
have in the gods?
the war has provided a certain level of organization to their fear. The war has given people a direction to point their fear, and in the beginning of the war, that fear was in our favor. The gods, new and old, were losing their power as people thought, as my family is not reunited, as my sister does not come home, there must not be gods. But over time, the war has provided structure to the suffering as people now look to the gods in prayer for their families to come home and be reunited.
So
the opposite of what we would like to have.
The war has given people order now.
Correct.
Because it's been going on for so long?
Yes.
And they're used to it?
Unfortunately.
Okay, so that was one reason. What's the other reason that you want to tell us? All of this. You said for starters, you think maybe you can get us on your side.
The second reason is simply that this is much too large for a group of 7, 8, and sort of looks in the back towards like Timmy and 86, 9, 10. It really doesn't matter. There are things in place that you simply cannot stop.
What kinds of things? We're pretty good at stopping things.
And your order consists of enough people to fit into a courtyard in Dakir. At least the people worthy of any mention.
Yes, and although they oversee, our reach is surprisingly quite wide. And I would challenge you all to think on, while, yes, you did stop our efforts to open up a single portal, I wonder how you all would fare as 5 portals are opened up across Elbor simultaneously, now with what we know as you all have stopped us, much more people stationed at each portal.
Well, where are the other portals?
We do not know their locations currently.
So how are you going to open them all up at the same time if you don't even know where they are?
Through furthering our research.
Yeah, but it took you this long to find one, so like maybe we'll be super
I don't know
powerful
that
by
this
then.
is a substantive argument.
And you're yelling at her about Artemisia was?
I pout.
Almost like lost in thought. I'll come back to the conversation as that's happening, and I'll look at Amara. So if we destroy all the gods, wipe everything clean, wouldn't Vosranath just become a god, and then the cycle would continue?
Quite possibly, yes.
And then it would. You're just starting it over again.
We are preparing contingencies against that.
Like what?
I'm not at liberty to disclose that information. I feel I've been more than open with you all. Although, any chance of that coming out, I'm not comfortable with sharing at the moment.
But I'm curious.
Good for you.
I thought
It's
you
a good
wanted
trait.
us to fight for you. How are we supposed to fight for something we don't know?
Well, I'm hoping that eventually you all will come to your senses.
But we also don't. If we also didn't want gods in the sky, wouldn't we want to know what the contingency was to keep that from happening?
Why don't just
Not
implement them now?
No. We require Vosranath in order to further our goals.
Amara,
Yes.
what sort of creature is Vosranath if it's not divine and it's chaotic? You've given a lot of vague adjectives. What entity is it?
The best description I can give you, I'm afraid it's still going to be relatively abstract, but think of whatever the opposite of divinity is.
Right.
Take divinity and go the opposite direction.
And you have contingencies for dealing with monsters like that?
We're developing them, yes.
Interesting.
So the Order of the Red Wolf wants to release Vosranath and then control them?
If it comes to that,
That
yes.
sounds so foolish.
Yeah, seems pretty insane.
If there are such contingencies, why not employ them against the current
That's what I was thinking.
administration?
That is why I described Vosranath as I did. Our contingencies only account for the opposite of divinity. We have no direct countermeasures for the divinity itself. Additionally, Vasarnath presents as a singular entity. Multiply that by 5, you get into some deep water fairly quickly.
And what of the new god's promise? They're, they say that they want what you want, to not have a divine hierarchy, to give the power back to the people. Have you no interest in that?
We believe that to be inherently false.
But Vasternath saying it isn't false?
Well, they're going to try to control him.
The prophecies that we have claim it to be false, yes.
Right, the prophecies. Okay, what's the business with these prophecies?
We have, through the years, starting with the Red Wolf himself and passing then down onto Corvin Emberstone, received a number of prophecies through them, all of which have come true. Our order was relatively small, and most of our members, like myself, were born into it. And so we had a certain level of understanding growing up and a certain level of belief as well. Though we had some tougher times bringing in other members, and these prophecies helped with that. And for a long time, this was before I was born, but for a time it was told to me that people thought us crazy and people thought our organization insane, as our friend over here had just said. But after these prophecies began to come to light of the gods themselves falling from the sky, of new gods taking their place, of a war ravaging the entire world, while at first those prophecies were seen as insanity, as those events came to pass, more and more people began to see our way.
If I want to join your order, what do I do?
We appreciate action and initiative. So in any way to further our cause, provide worth, prove yourself worthy of joining our cause, we have had many people across Elbor who stationed in different locations, having different occupations, feeding us information, and over time, a trust is developed.
What kind of information are they feeding you?
Well, for one, locations of these overlaps between the planes. We were given a good seed of information that an overlap between the plane of fire and our world here naturally occurred in the Dakir ruins. And when we followed up, that was proven to be a worthwhile opportunity.
And how does bringing a beast from another plane through a great gate disrupt the powers of the gods? What relation does that have?
I don't know if you quite understand that we weren't attempting to bring a beast through. We were attempting to demolish the walls between the plane of fire and here. Had we succeeded, that portal would have continued to grow and possibly encompass the entire area, and not only one beast, but from what we had hoped, many number of them.
And how did these keys come to be? Did you commission them?
Yes. I did not directly myself.
And Bram Drumwind just acquiesced?
I believe Ilana had a contact that she had used for many years, a very skillful locksmith, and through persuasion, he had created these incredible threshold keys.
But then he took them from you.
Yes,
And hid them?
we believe so.
I have another question.
Ask away. as she sort of gestures to the glowing zone of truth around her.
Do you know an Ernest Hollowpot?
I do not know that name.
What?
If I had the information, who would I give it to?
Myself. And
You are here.
as soon as you let me go as a showing of your faith to our cause, I would do with that information what is necessary. That information wouldn't do me much good in here, would it?
No, it wouldn't. Say I don't fully believe you, but I wanted to contact someone else. Who would I talk to?
Well, the point of contact for most new people is through the Hollow Guard itself. Ilana Show overtakes the majority of that organization, and from what I believe, one of you might have a way to contact them.
I mean, I tangentially assisted the Hollow Guard with some things every once in a while, in the past, but I don't work for them.
It's okay. We all have a past. Or some of us. Okay, maybe we should all talk.
What of the waste and Primordia? Are there any more prophecies with that? Or is that all done?
That was our first attempt at what we are currently doing. We have adjusted our plans since then, as we have determined that having a single point of contact does not benefit us strategically as much as having multiple across the world. And as we saw previously, having that one point of contact to sow chaos across the world was unfortunately the downfall.
So the storm was trying to assassinate the gods?
To sow chaos to the point of people losing their faith, as the epicenter of divinity at the time was completely eradicated. And if that storm had continued to grow out, a certain level of panic would set across the world, and people seeing that their beacon to the gods was destroyed in such a manner, people would probably see that their gods hold no power and hence lose their faith.
So the next step that you guys have is to try to find the keys and the portals?
That is correct.
But you haven't found any more?
Not at the moment. Although active searches are taking place and we have a few promising leads.
And Archfey Dalmok, is he present in any of this? The Red Wolf's father?
I have not heard much of Archfey Dalmok beyond the legend of the Red Wolf.
The legend being just his contact with the outcast.
That is correct.
And these prophecies.
And I am not one to believe the old stories completely. I understand that there might be embellishment in some, and as I have heard of no contact of any Archfey within our organization, I would not be surprised if that was an exaggeration of lore, although I knowing the great acts of the Red Wolf, would not be surprised if that was in fact an actual occurrence.
Are you referring to the Archfey's conflict with the powers that be?
Simply the Archfey's existence.
If the Archfey's existence wasn't a thing, then how would the Red Wolf exist?
It's possible that he was just a man.
The wolf? Just a man?
The Red Wolf, yes. He was a man, yes. Although some say that he had powers to transform himself into a red, beastly, wolf-like creature, which is where he got his name from.
Aye, yeah. Oh, what an amazing power that would be. I wish I could have seen it.
Yeah.
But we did see it.
No, Alma.
All this talk of keys. Were they all made? Even the one that goes to the abyss?
Yes, and through various means of tracking our sources, we have confirmed with Alana that she did in fact see all of the keys at one point, though it was told to her that they required continual work, and after that she no longer had contact with them.
And if we wanted to turn in a key for the cause, who would we go to for that?
You could turn that to myself.
Right, but you're kind of indisposed right now. We just
But then we'd release her if that
Yeah.
were our intent.
Oh, but maybe we don't think they'll believe you anymore now that you've been imprisoned.
Right. We want to skip a step. You being that step.
In the interest of furthering the cause, I understand where you are all coming from. Once again, Ilana,
Okay.
possibly regaining a bit of her lost credibility after she mistakenly misplaced these keys and did not keep track of them as she should, as well as I know that as we have now acquired the might and force of the Benok tribe, I know that they have their transport routes all over, and as I'm sure you would be able to move your way up and find someone in that organization that you'd be able to give it to.
And you said everyone's looking for the keys. How exactly do they find them? Like, if we wanted to help and find a key, is there like some kind of spell or trinket or a magic item that you use to find these keys that we could have?
Unfortunately, I am not a part of the group that searches for the keys. I am not exactly sure the means with which they are attempting to find these keys, nor the locations of overlap themselves. It is my job more to be on the side of the mystic arts within opening and maintaining these portals to other planes.
I guess the last thing I'm curious about is, if I wanted to talk to the source, like it seems like some of you have, how do I communicate or how do I talk to Vosronath?
It is different for everybody. For the most part, most of the people who are able to draw power from Vosronath create a sort of pact with him, and almost like, I would assume your friend here, and she points to Kellic, as you, I'm sure, create some sort of agreement with a deity that you draw power from. It's a very similar process where you, for the most part, have to open yourself up to it and be true in your intentions.
How do you break a contract like that?
With Vosronath?
Mm-hmm.
To my knowledge, it has not been done, nor can it be done.
But to form it, you have to open yourself up to it.
You need to hold a certain level of pre-existing devotion. We've had people within the Order of the Red Wolf who have faithfully served us for years, and they haven't even had the opportunity to receive this power. It is a level of devotion that goes just beyond requesting to speak with Vosronath, you have to understand.
But we've heard of him approaching strangers to your cause. People who were just tourists. Does that surprise you?
That does not surprise me, no.
What reason would he have to form a contract with someone like that?
Did they share any allegiance with the gods, new or old?
Aye, the new gods?
Once again, taking power from old gods, relieving
Just for the pleasure.
gods of their servants.
Aye. Interesting. Well,
Thank you very much for your time. You're gonna stay here for a little bit.
we'll let you know if we choose to abandon our faith and morals and
Want to kill everyone?
ethics.
Well, I assumed I was going to be here for some time, so
Yeah, I mean, maybe
I
for
appreciate
like
speaking with you all.
another couple generations, things will change.
We'll see if that hull of yours holds up in the meantime. And I sort of point to the wound in the center of...
I mean, time doesn't really pass here, so like...
Yeah, I suppose.
Maybe one day.
I'll be waiting for that day.
You'll wait, all right. And I turn away. And I quickly gestured at...
All right, and Hayfried pushes the platform back out.
I'm just visibly seething.
I'm gonna walk over to you, Kaylee, and say, "Now's not the time to waver. You heard what they said. This is about sowing chaos so that people question faith. So, it seems we have a couple of decisions to make. It seems like, from what they are saying, the old gods and the new gods are the problem, regardless of how you feel about them. And that this Voss Renath is the end game, the end goal. So,
Even if it's just a figurehead.
yes,
Aye.
it seems that maybe we can help in lessening this confusion, this chaos they're trying to sow. Also, it seems like we might want to try and find these keys.
Yeah.
Or we could infiltrate the wolf. Seems like we have a path.
Or
And I look at Oma.
What are you looking at?
They said you know how to contact this Ilana show.
I mean, I don't know how to contact Ilana, but I mean, I know where...
I mean, I think I could contact her.
It's a last resort. I don't think any of us want to make vows to this.
Air used to always go and pick up the tools and pick up like our next thing that they wanted us to do. Like Marsh and I were just along for the ride, so like we didn't really make any decisions or contact them. But I know where Air went in Andoria, but I didn't ever go. But I know where it is, and in theory we could go there and try. But the Holocard's bad news.
It's all bad news everywhere you look. If we
Yes.
turn to the reigning governments of these places and we say, hey, there's a great threat at this location and that location, they'll bat us away like flies and continue on with their warmongering. But if we try to stop the war by decreasing the faith in the old gods, then we help the cause of this Red Wolf and all this madness.
Well, they want both of them gone.
Right. But I have to think that any decrease in faith is a boon to them.
But then it would increase the faith in the new gods.
And that'd be a thought.
And then it would stop the war. I thought
That is what I'd like to do.
the new gods were the bad guys the whole time, but I'm not sure about that anymore.
It's a matter of perspective. No.
I thought Famir had... Nothing.
It doesn't seem like the gods are the issue here. That's like a side thing. This war is just happening by itself. It seems like the cult of the Red Wolf has been trying for much longer to unseat all gods.
It is a part of the thing. They said it was a step. They need this unchaining, this this release of faith in order to release this Voss.
Right, but last time they just had a giant storm in the waste, right? Last time the big chaos and the big unseating of power was just a bunch of lives lost, right? It was just
It
trauma.
was the destruction of a bastion.
There were gods involved, multiple gods.
Primordia was a place where you could go to speak to the gods directly. You could witness them face to face. The destruction of such a wondrous location was certainly going to decrease faith in the power of
Right,
gods,
but
if nothing else.
My point was it wasn't a war.
Wasn't it? How much do I know of the dethroning of the old gods from childhood?
You don't really know too much beyond like the basics.
That's okay. I have a
Just because it's also as far as the history of the world goes, fairly recent.
Yeah.
So not a lot of details have yet come forth.
If you had this power of the old gods, do you think you would willingly give it up without strife?
No, but it doesn't seem like... It seems like their power comes from the people who support them, so... The strife is just strife on people. So, I guess my point is it wasn't a war against two equally powered things. It was an attack from the weapon, the fallen storm on Primordia and all the people. I wouldn't call that a war. I would call that an attack.
It is though splitting hairs doesn't help us in this.
I think the war is going to be there regardless. I don't think that's something we can realistically think that we can stop. We're just a
If
small
we're
group.
incapable of stopping that, then how are we to stop the end of all things?
We stop it by getting the keys and destroying them.
Right, but the keys would have no power. The Vossronoth coming to this world would have no power if the gods had the power they needed to fight back.
But
right?
If they find the keys, which it seems like they're close to doing,
It doesn't seem like that to me.
they're researching a lot.
Yeah,
But
but
it's
they've
unclear.
only found one.
And we've prevented the use of
But
it.
if we stop the war and they still bring the keys and open up 5 or 6, 7, 8 portals all over at once, and one has Vossronoth that comes out, it's still going to cause chaos.
Flynn, we're saying the same thing. I'm saying we should find the keys, but I'm also saying that I don't think that means we can't also try to stop this war, because if we can get both sides to pray to the same gods, then those gods will have power and they'll be able to help.
I don't even believe in the gods, though. So how can I tell someone to believe in something that I don't believe in?
Well, right now they're just fighting each other. So we just want them to stop fighting. Even if they believe in different gods, let them believe what they want to believe
we have to
and
go
move
to-
on.
Don't have to believe in the new gods. That's what.
But we have to go to every single
Makes
person
it
on this
better.
world and tell them to believe? That's going to take too long.
It is a lot.
It is the same concept as creating these gates, these rifts. Great actions like the destruction of Primordia. That's how you influence belief. It's not through conversations. I dare you to go talk to Graham Bloodrun and convince him he doesn't deserve the mine. It doesn't work like that.
Wait, and didn't they say that the war was actually no longer helping their cause?
It's not. It's increasing the faith because people are more...
Steadfast.
I don't like to say it, but maybe the war is not our focus.
I think it's the keys.
I agree with him. I agree with you, Flynn.
The keys take precedent.
And as you sort of finish your thoughts, you hear the portal to the void open up, and you see Timmy burst through, drenched in water. Guys, I think you should come out and see this. And that's where we're going to end this episode.
Oh, man.
What are you talking about?
We're going to call it right there.
You do.
Thank you all so
Timmy.
much for listening, and we can't wait to see y'all again.
What did you
next
do,
week.
Timmy?
Bye, nerds.
Bye,
nerds.
Hey, nerds. This is Rodney. Thanks for listening to this episode. Hopefully you liked it. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe on your platform of choice. For me, it's TikTok, where you can see amazing videos of Rebecca and Shane and, well, the whole crew, basically, doing cool things. They're funny, they're relatable, and I learn things about the D&D, and you can too. So join us there, if you would. All right, have a good day.
That's it. We use that for the rest of the episode for the rest of the time.
Only closer. That's the only sign up. Oh my god.